both here, standing on business with no fear. I mean that. It's the ring champs when the smoke clears.
I'm looking forward to just kind of catching up with him because I hadn't seen him in a while. Just getting to know Ak and Barak and seeing their progress and seeing how they've grown even more over the years is really amazing because we just met here in Brooklyn and just to see them grow and develop is amazing.
We're back. It's the ring champs. I go by the name of Barak.
And I'm Barak, the boxing bully.
And very close friend to the room is sitting with us today, 4-time trainer of the year, our guy, Derrick James.
Thank you, guys. I'm happy to be here, man.
I want to go back to Derrick James days before the boxing world knew who he was, before you started to get notoriety in the sport. Who was the first fighter that you felt like, all right, you know, people are going to start respecting me. Look how my fight is performing. Like, I'm going to be respected and more fighters are going to want to come work with me.
Well, I mean, you know, from the beginning, really I used to do like white collar boxing. So that's really what
That's where you started. Really?
Where I was a fighter, but then that's where I went to that.
To make money.
Yeah.
No money, right. Guys that want to get in shape and stuff like that.
So yeah, you know, you train a lot of guys or whatever. But then it was like, I had these kids, right? This one kid, Cole Horwitz, he plays golf. But what he would do, he would kind of be a little shook, I guess, before the tournament. Mm-hmm. So I would call him and talk to him. Talk his way through whatever he needs to be doing to get him focused. Oh. Right. So I'm like, man, if I mean so much to these kids, I got to start giving back to the kids in my community. Wow. So that's kind of what happened to where I went to a boxing tournament, amateur show. And normally I sit like on the floor, whatever, but this time I sat up in the audience.
Right.
And I sat, just so happened, Errol's father was next to me. Mm-hmm. And I was watching him, look at that, I said, he keep doing the same thing over and over. And then we kind of like...
Errol was fighting?
Errol was fighting.
Okay. How old was he at that time?
He was about 17. But I knew him already because I had sparred with him before.
Okay. You had sparred with Errol?
Yeah, before, yeah.
Errol Spence.
When he first started boxing, yeah.
Oh.
So it was like I was working on...
helping him out?
I was working on my... No, he was helping me out because I was still fighting. So I was working on my defense.
Oh, you were still fighting professionally. Errol was an amateur.
Right, yeah.
And the first time you had interaction with him, you were sparring with him.
I was sparring with him.
Did you piece him up, though?
No, I didn't throw any punches.
Oh, you was working on your defense.
Just defense, just your defense, you know.
Wow.
And so...
so after that is when you ran into his father at an amateur?
Well, it was like, say some years later.
Okay.
And then it was like, I said, and I was like, man, keep doing the same thing over and over again. And he was like, can you help him? I said, yeah, I can help him. And it was kind of like, you know,
That's
whatever. I gave my number. It didn't start immediately. It was like months later.
Okay.
Then he hit me up, you know. So it was like, from that point, he was kind of like...
He was still an amateur when you started
working.
Yeah.
So basically, he started your career in training actual fighters.
Well, no, I started my career in actually training fighters.
No, because you said, I only said that because you said you was in white collar.
Yeah, I was in white collar boxing, but it was him and another kid, so it was two of them.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It was him and another kid that I started training. Mm-hmm. And the other kid, he won a little bit, and he went to the state Golden Gloves. Both of them went in the finals. Errol won, the other kid lost, but he turned pro. So I was like, man, you should stay amateur, try to, you know, develop your skill set.
The other kid or?
The other kid.
Yeah, okay.
And he wanted to, you know.
Well, obviously.
He wanted to get the money, and he only had like 4 or 5 fights. So I was like, man, you should, you know.
Right. How much potential did you see in Errol early on? Even though you said he kept doing the same thing, but obviously you must have saw something great in him. Well,
that was like before I started training, but I think that, hey man, because you never know. Because I mean, for me, I never put in like, you say, oh, this kid gonna be, you never know.
Yeah,
you know,
you don't put that type of pressure.
Because there's so many different things that really truly predict how successful you can be. It's like, you know, family members may get in the way, your wife may get in the way. So many different
variables, yeah.
So many, I mean, you may want to be in the hood, you know, so you never know about any of the other stuff that...
But outside of that other stuff, I'm talking about as a fighter in the ring, what was his best attribute that you saw early on?
You never, because it's like, even though...
Nothing. You don't get it. He's trying to say he wasn't too trash, but
No, it was like, no, I'm not saying, no, it was just like you gradually...
I put words in
it wasn't like this. He was obviously probably a good fighter, but it wasn't like, he's going to be, because you never know.
Right.
How many guys go to the Olympics, never do anything in the pros?
No, you're right.
Right?
You're right.
So it's like, you never really can say until they actually do it. Mm-hmm. That's why I never call it, what's up, champ? I'm never going to call you a champ because...
Right. You don't say that. So I need to stop saying that to people like,
you can do it. I said, I don't because it's like, you may have all the attributes to be that individual, but it's other stuff outside of that, whatever, just gonna stop you from being whoever you could possibly be. So I just never do it because it's like until you become it.
Okay, so Tag, you knew him since he was a little kid.
At 15 years old. Right?
So, and I understand that you're different than some trainers. Some trainers try to be a father figure in every way and give advice on every single thing or whatever. And I've seen you, give advice like you said, but also fall back and let a man be a man as well. So is this a tough time for you, being that you guys were such family and now it seems like you're not?
It's the game, man. It's like,
Really?
I'm not really, because I'm not mad at him.
You didn't have any moments?
No.
Wow.
Really?
No, man.
So let me address that.
We can't really talk about that.
But talk what you can talk about. But I want to address the elephant in the room as far as what I know, right?
Right.
Or at least what's been put out there, right? And the storyline is, first off, me as an outside fan looking in, I was shocked because to Barak's point, I felt like he was with him since the amateurs. Like these dudes are family,
Right.
and you rarely see a duo having that type of run because Errol was the man at 147. He was the guy, and he reigned for a while. But the storyline is that because of that one Bud fight, that the 10% the 10% monetary thing is only on the guaranteed purse, and that you wanted 10% on the pay-per-view, and he had an issue with that. Is that essentially what it's about?
It's not.
It's not that.
It's really like I can't really talk about it, but it's not that.
So it's not the money thing.
At least he addressed that.
No, it's not.
It is somewhat of the money thing, but not exactly the way I framed it.
No, it's not. It's not what you're thinking. That's not that. No.
So you didn't want more than you deserved.
No, never, man. Come on, man. Listen, I would never want that.
It was strange for us hearing it.
But I would never, it's like this. I would never do that.
No.
I would never, no. Not more than I want what I work for.
Right.
I never anything other than that. You know what I mean?
And so you guys haven't spoken since the Bud fight, to my understanding.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, you had a conversation, but not.
It was like in between the whole
thing. So it was like kind of an argument type thing.
No, we never had an argument. We had a conversation. It wasn't a.
There was no
wasn't
aggression.
heated. No.
Was it in person or over the phone?
It was over the phone. Yeah. Yeah. So
Two mellow dudes, just talking about disagreeing, but still.
Were you shocked? Were you surprised at his reaction to the whole ordeal?
I don't know what his reaction is.
Like, no, well, obviously is disagreeing with you. Whatever the case is, right? We don't know exactly the details. The devil's in the details, right? Devil's in the details, but obviously there's a disagreement. Right or wrong? Is there a disagreement?
It's still a legal situation going on.
No, I know, but you can say
ongoing legal situation going on.
It's still litigation, but obviously you guys don't agree on something. It's safe to say that. I don't think that's...
it's not the weather.
And to me, honestly, being around Errol over these years, like I've grown to really like the guy, and even though, we're personal friends with Bud, and they were fighting, it was still like, tough to see the way he lost because I like him as a family man.
Right.
One thing I love about Errol is seeing him and his kids on social media. You probably can attest as to the type of father he is.
Right.
His kids are everywhere. When I went to visit you in the gym, his daughters are running around in the gym. And I love that. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember as a kid, kids being with their father all day long. So talk to me about Errol as a father.
I think he was a good father. I think he spent time with his daughters and it was cool.
And that's kind of like, it was cool. Like,
but it was cool, even though that's not the place to be, because I do run a business.
So you don't, so you don't agree with that? Got his daughter.
No, I don't.
But his. I mean, I heard him speak to this, right? But he said, as a fighter, we go to camp, we train, we're away from our kids so much, right? Why not have my kids around me so I don't lose those moments?
Right. At the same time, I understand that. But your kids can't be running through the gym while Anthony Josh was punching, they running in between. It's a business. You know what I mean? So, hey man, what you talking about?
But I thought your fighters train at different times. Or sometimes they overlap.
Sometimes they may, it overlaps. It's like, it's stacked. But, you know, it would be like...
So what have you said in the gym? Hey, Errol, get your daughter, man. I'm doing pads here.
It's like...
I don't know, man. Like, I'm on the side with Errol, but I do understand it's a business.
No, it's like this. I'm cool with that too, right?
Right.
When you look back at a situation, you're like, yeah, it was kind of, you know, but that's okay.
Right.
Yeah,
it's not a big
absolutely.
deal.
You know...
Sometimes it was.
You know, you don't bring your kids, just like you don't bring your friends. Like, I don't let anybody in the gym. Like, my father only been there one time.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because, man, it's my job. What do you think about this? You work at a register. Wait. You work at
my kids at a job sometimes.
You work at a register. You clock checking people out. Your homeboy standing next to you. Man, right? Ring that up, man. Ring that up.
That's a different type of job, though.
No. Because it's like this. I don't believe in that. Like, I'm an inner city kid, right? I'm from that area. None of my friends, no, they don't come. No, man.
Barak has his son here. My son's been here.
That's cool.
We work.
But he's not sitting in the frame with us.
Right.
It's different. He can be here. But like for me, I would never go to anybody else's job. Just respect, right? And then you gotta look at it like this. I respect the fighters enough to where I'm not gonna have my people all up in their face, asking them questions like that. Man, this is a place of refuge where different type of people. I could have clients that's multimillionaires, billionaires come to the gym, right? So,
and you're talking about overall. You're not referring to Errol in this situation.
No, not him.
Got you.
Not in particular. It's not him. Just like in general. It's like I take my job serious. I'm not cracking jokes. I'm not, you know, on the backside. Yeah, I have a sense of humor. I crack jokes, you know, whatever. But I don't. When I'm at work, I don't play because it's real.
You're talking to the wrong guy because he'll bring anybody, anywhere.
But and that's cool.
But
to his point,
it's not cool.
They're not on camera with us. So I agree with you.
It's not cool. Around. It's like me. He said, my son is over there.
Yeah,
Yesterday, my son said, can I come with you? I said, no. Because that's not professional in the area that we're going around yesterday. Here, this is ours.
Right,
we own this. This is like my other house. Right. So you can come. You can come. And I know his mentality, he's going to sit, be quiet, never say a word, and just watch.
Right. So you're saying I'll bring a bunch of loud people around?
You just said that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes he brings people around who wants to be part of it. You know what I'm saying? Not his family, but other people who wants to be a part of it. Right. And then now it don't look professional anymore.
I get the point. I'm harping on the kids thing because I'm a father as well.
Right.
So I don't have a problem.
I love that Errol said that.
I don't have a problem with Errol bringing his kids to the gym.
But I never brought my kids to the gym.
No, I understand that. It is your gym.
I get it. It's my gym, but I still, listen, like my wife, my kids, they never come to the gym. Like, they may come in the morning to work out in the gym because we do own a gym with treadmills and whatever weights. So they may come to work out when nobody else is there.
And just to add to that, it's not only losing time with the kids. Another thing that he brought up that was very interesting to me, and I never looked at it that way, kids always... You know, when your father's a well-known fighter, right? You see it from the outside, but they don't get a chance to see the work they put in.
That's cool.
The work they put in. So at least his kids and his daughters and his son is getting bigger now. He sees like everything that we have.
Right.
This is what I have to do to create that.
No, that's cool. I got that. That's cool. I mean, so it's not. But I'm just saying.
I get your point.
Yeah, if you in the gym by yourself.
Right.
But I remember I got other
fighters, right.
The issue is that there's two different dynamics. Right. He's a fighter who's going to train there for a few hours, and you're going to be there all day, working all day. So it's a different dynamic.
It's cool that you bring your kids. I mean, they need to be, like my son, but like this, my son, like I said, I do white collar training, right? I used to. Right. I still do, but I would take my son to work every day, right? But he would wait in the car.
Mm-hmm. While you training people?
Yeah.
That's child abuse.
Wait, with the windows rolled up? And it's 99 degrees outside? That was your son? I saw that on the news, bro.
That's a damn shame.
No, he would wait in the car because he wanted to.
Oh,
not because of...
You didn't make him wait in the car.
No. So, but what happened is, like, he saw me work 7 days a week, so he saw me work every day.
Wow.
So he understands that. So now he's in commercial real estate. He works 7 days a week. He work every day. Because you saw that.
Yep.
And you saw what it take to get
you
to where
you going to his job messing with him?
Never. Never go. Look, I only went to like one Christmas party one time. He invited me, but I never go, nah, man, because it's like, no.
What's up, everybody? It's Barak the Boxing Bully. We got some heat coming your way. Fights you definitely don't want to miss. So jump in on all the action with our partners, DraftKings.
Jake Paul fights Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Barak. Is this the biggest test that Jake Paul has faced in his career, even though he's already beaten Anderson Silva, who beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
I don't care what anybody says. This is a former champion in junior, and he actually was a pretty good fighter. I think Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has a chance to beat Jake Paul. But will we see a different Jake Paul? I think we always see that every fight. I think he always improves. He stays in the gym. The only thing that can hold him back is being outskilled.
You do not want to miss this fight. So go check out all that DraftKings has to offer, but you have to use the promo code ATS Fights. The crown is yours.
DraftKings literally has something for every sports fan in the world. Have some fun and join in on all that our partners DraftKings has to offer, either on the app or the website.
Go download the DraftKings app right now. But new customers, you have to use our code. Make sense about it. ATS Fights right now. Level up your fight night experience. Derrick, is there room for you and Errol Spence to reconcile and maybe not train together, but maybe become friends? Do you think there's room for that?
I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him.
You're not upset with him?
No.
Would you ever work with him again as a trainer? If it came to that?
I'm not going to say all that, but I'm just going to say.
So you won't?
No, I'm just going to say.
I'm not going to say all that.
I'm not going to say all that. And at the same
Gave him
time,
an out.
at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to,
Let's go. Let's talk
have an
about
ongoing legal situation going on.
Right. Let's talk about the fight. This is a fight that we all watch, right? Going into that fight, this was a 50-50 fight.
Oh, what fight? You talking about him and Crawford?
Him and Crawford.
Okay,
the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. It was the big, in my opinion, it was the biggest fight since Tito Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, right? In terms of two undefeated elite welterweights unifying a division, right? Like, so, everybody we talked to, they didn't know who to pick, right?
Right.
Why did the fight seem so one-sided, in your opinion?
Hey, I have no idea.
As a trainer, something you saw.
Listen, hey, it's only so much I can talk about.
Give me something. Give me what you can talk about.
Not too much room there.
All right, so answer
what
me
would
this
he do
if you
different? What would he do different in rematch if there was a rematch?
No, wait. Before we jump into that, Barak, go after the fight. This is all we heard, right? And I feel like it's wrong after the fact because then you're taking away credit from Bud performing the way he did, which was he had a phenomenal performance.
I didn't say anything.
People were saying,
that's true.
Errol looked different walking to the ring. In the corner, he looked different. Something about his look, and that's just hearsay. We don't know. Did he look different to you in the dressing room, walking to the ring? Was it not a typical Errol Spence? Come on, give me something, Derrick. Give me something.
There's nothing to give.
You know what I'm saying? There gotta be something. That's a yes or no answer.
Well,
was he not the Errol that you normally know?
Well, everybody saw that. Everybody saw he could have been a different fighter, but
But what if Bud had?
But put like this. It's not necessarily not to take anything away from Terrence Crawford because he fought the fight he was supposed to fight.
Yeah.
He fought, and he came out there to fight the fighter that he was supposed to fight. And his victory was his victory. That's what it is.
But that's my point. Do you think that Errol looked the way he did because of the type of fighter Terrence was, and he made him look not the way he normally does?
Like this. Doesn't want to sound disrespectful, but that doesn't matter about Errol. It was all about Terrence Crawford. Right? So none of that even matters. You just gotta, this is like, life is about consistency. Right? And so, regardless of who or what, one fighter was consistent, the other fighter wasn't, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So, you can't take away, Terrence Crawford trained for the individual who had beat everybody else before.
Yeah.
That's what he trained for, right? So that's what you gotta take into understanding.
So in other words, Errol didn't train for that Terrence
No,
Crawford.
I don't know. He did train.
Okay,
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying because I can only see. I'm just talking about we're not taking anything from him.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, and it's not for me to be talking about what happened because I don't know.
Were you totally surprised with the outcome of that fight?
You know what? Yeah, because you really are, but then you really kind of you really are. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, you had one of the most dominant fighters
right.
from 2012 all the way up
right.
until then.
But it's like I always say it's the game. You equate life to the game. I mean, you can have whatever, you can do whatever, but hey man, everything don't always play out the way you want it to, and you still got to keep pushing on. I had another fight 2 weeks after that, so I couldn't. I couldn't even wallow. I couldn't even wallow in it, right? Because you got to get ready for AJ. Like you fighting, it was like it wasn't even something you just sit in.
This is something fight fans said after the fight, and even some pundits, that Errol just hasn't been the same since the car accident. My response to that always, he fought Danny Garcia and he looked phenomenal against Danny after. And Ugas, right? Ugas was a tougher fight, more brutal fight.
Right.
But do you think that the accident changed him at all as a fighter?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think life happens, you know what I mean? Like whatever that is or whatever that means.
Right.
So many things in between, hey man, you just never know. You know what I mean? So
Right. Errol's a warrior. Like he said, he don't take no easy fights. You gotta love him for that. So you worked with the top guys. You had such a great run with the top guys. You had the Undisputed. You had unified guys. You had It's a little different right now. I'm sorry.
Did you like emphasize the head?
But I'm sitting there like, you know what?
There's some time. All right.
Say what you're going to say. Because I'm going to tell you. I'm sitting there like, so think about this. So, okay, because I had to think about this, right? Somebody called me and was like, who you training? I was like, man, really? I'm just cool. I just been playing golf. Riding around with my daughters, playing golf with them, and golf cart. Like, really? Like, you don't have anybody? I said, no, I don't have anybody. I said, I'm cool, though. Like,
this is recent.
Recent. It's like, because you got to think about this. I had a fight in last July, I believe it was, or June, with Frank and Tank, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I hadn't had anything since then. So the guy's like, man, so you really? I'm like, no, man, I'm good. I'm just been playing golf. I learned how to play golf. Hanging out with my daughters, riding golf carts, whatever, teach them how to drive.
So you made enough money to hold you down all this time.
So the dude,
he's like, what you think, yo? You see what I got on my wrist?
So the guy's like, he's like, man, he said, you're gonna be okay. You'll be back. Wait, who said that? I'm not gonna tell you his name. But then if you think about it like this, and this was funny about it. So what were the two biggest fights last year? Was it Devin Haney,
2024 was Ryan Garcia,
and Frank Martin and Tank Davis?
Yeah.
Okay, what were the two biggest fights before that? The year before that?
It was July with Terrence and Errol.
And then Jamel and Canelo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. And that year I had 6 12-round fights.
Right.
6 main event fights. The year before that, Errol versus Ugas, right? Jamel became undisputed.
Right.
So when you talk about where have I gone?
Okay,
so wait. So my question is, where have I gone? It hadn't even been a year since the other fight. I just hadn't had a fight.
Right.
I just hadn't had a fight and whatever. Right. But I've been mastering my golf game. And supporting my brothers from Eastside Golf. Come on, man.
That's because you're not training just anybody, too. That's why there's going to be gaps.
That's a good point. Fights. But see, now I'm glad I let you say that whole thing because you were really talking to that guy.
And it's more than that. It's more than that. That was just those little whatever.
You were really talking to whoever that was.
I'm not talking.
Hold on 1 second.
Go ahead. Come on.
No. Go ahead. You can go.
I'm saying you haven't mentioned AJ.
No, I'm really not. I'm just saying in general for the whole situation because it's like I haven't been gone.
We know that.
On the holiday, I've been on.
The way I said had is the same way you said I had a fight in June.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I said it.
I got you.
Right.
It wasn't like...
My full sentence was going to be this. You had an incredible run. You've worked with so many different fighters.
Right.
some fighters went to other trainers.
Right.
Is there any fighter that you miss the most? That's it. So I wasn't talking about,
we do
you were
apologize.
there and now you here. I wasn't saying
do
that.
apologize, but no.
No, you don't have to apologize. Maybe you do.
You know what?
It's all good.
Do I miss? You know what I mean? Listen, I care about all the fighters that I trained. I mean, all of them. You know what I mean? And regardless of whatever, people make choices and make decisions, and I'm not mad about it because this is their career. This is
mad.
my
I was just
career.
saying, do you miss them?
Oh yeah, you know
with
what?
AJ, you was like,
That's
it
my
seemed
man.
like you had a friendship.
Oh yeah. We are like we still talk. Like he hit me up like last week, so we still talk. So it's not like we're mad at each other.
Right.
I think like people, it's always business and other things that happen, and people say let's do this, whatever. But it doesn't take away from my personal relationship with him.
Do you think AJ Anthony Joshua has too many layers to get to him, like, and too many people in his ear?
I don't know. Man, I'm not gonna. No, I'm not.
So how did your trainer fighter relationship end? Like, what was that conversation like?
It was like, man, it was just like a choice where they felt like, I don't know. I don't even remember. But it was like, you're not in no more. So it was like, and I understand that. But we still talk. Like we still text and talk and, like really, it's like, that's why, like, even when after one of the fights, he mentioned whatever, because it was like, I talked to him right before the fight.
Right.
Like literally, I mean, it had to be minutes before he
Before the Dubois fight?
No, before the other one.
Oh, okay.
I talked to him about the Dubois. I mean, also,
or the Wallin fight where he stopped him.
it was the Ngannou.
Oh, okay, nice.
And then I talked to him before the last one too. I mean, we talked like.
Got you.
I was like, man, what are you doing texting? I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing texting me?
Yeah,
I was like, you get ready for a fight, but yeah.
So that just goes to show that great
He's a solid
relationship.
dude,
Yeah, he's a real
that
guy.
you
He's a
guys
real
had.
guy. Yeah.
So who's the hardest worker that you've ever had where you don't have to keep checking to see if they're doing what you sent them to do?
This is what I want to say about that.
Okay.
All of them work very similar.
Really?
Because, and the only reason why I got to say that, because you can't, there's no favorites, man. You can't have you got to be able to say, they all work, they all
But
work.
that ain't having favors. That's just being honest.
But listen, my honesty is,
They all work the same.
They all work the same.
I don't believe that.
Well, I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying that's what my answer is.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You don't want anybody to be like, oh, well, let it go, man.
All right, so I'll ask you this. Who's the most athletic fighter you've ever worked with?
I can't even.
You can't say they're all athletic.
They all are.
No, I mean, they're athletic in terms of being a world-class fighters, but there has to be something
they
more.
all have great athleticism, though.
Okay.
All of them did, like Errol, Frank, Anthony. Yeah, man, really, because you think about this, even with AJ being a heavyweight, right? Yeah. They don't move, but when I trained him, he was moving, right? Yeah. So it's like something that they never tap into. If you think about this, if you're from the projects, but you never saw anybody from your neighborhood be successful, you would never believe you could do it. But if somebody from your hood made it,
right?
Yeah, I can do that too. So nobody even tapped into his athleticism, right? They think because you're heavyweight, you're supposed to stand there and just bang it out. It was asinine, right?
Right.
And so that's what it is. Like, if you don't believe you can do something, then what? You never do it. Right. But if somebody taps into a situation to say, I can do this, or I can be this individual, or I can be this way, because most boxers want to know how to box. Regardless of whatever. If you're a punter, if you're whatever, and most guys depend on athleticism. So when you say athletes, I don't focus on athleticism. I focus on skill and technique. Because that takes you further. Athleticism will take you to the door. But what's going to get you in and make you thrive in that room is your technique and your skill set.
Right.
So that's the difference that's why I say, all of them were athletes. I mean, when I say athletes, all of them were great athletes. And I know who the best athlete was, but I'm not going to say.
Who? I want
I'm not going to know. Listen.
Give him his flowers now.
Well, listen, I gave it to him in his face.
Ooh, I can't argue that.
Whoever that is.
So let's put all your...
But Barak, before you switch over AJ, I just want to ask you,
okay, go ahead.
Without throwing any of his trainers under the bus, because you're a respectful guy, right? What did he do wrong in the Dubois fight?
I don't know. I mean...
you watched the fight, right?
The thing about it was, listen, so I don't watch a lot of boxing, right? But when I watch boxing, I just watch it. I'm not watching it to see what they're doing wrong because I can.
But that's
wait.
ex-fighter. You gotta watch it from a different lens.
But let me look at it like this, because I could never enjoy a fight if I'm looking so technical. So he's doing this, he's dropping this. So with AJ, I mean, you know,
it had to be something you saw. I mean, I hear what you're saying.
It wasn't about anything that I saw. I mean, it was like, you know, you don't thought, okay, go ahead. Because go ahead, say it. No, he's my man. Like this.
No, but I'm saying that's constructive criticism.
I love all these guys, even Errol. I mean, I love him too. I mean, it's not like I'm mad at any of these guys, but listen. So what the situation is like, it's a process. And the process when
I feel like you're getting into it and then he's pulling back.
You went from saying you don't throw a...
No. What I'm saying, the process has to play out. You can't jump off the boat until the process is fully developed, right? Until you follow it through. I think that, so what did he do wrong? I mean, he did a couple things wrong. I mean, one thing I know is he threw an uppercut from a distance, right? An uppercut is a shot you throw up close.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I talk to him, but not necessarily about it, because I'm not gonna be a guy who's gonna be digging at it.
But I know you were rooting for AJ.
Yeah,
right?
Man, every day of the week.
When you're
twice on Sunday,
when you're biased to a fighter, because I've done it, I'm looking like, damn, why'd you do that? Oh, damn, hold your hand up like you had to.
No, because I didn't see it live. I was traveling afterwards, so I only saw. And I really still hadn't seen the whole fight. I just saw because I can't watch my man like that. So it was like I could watch it live when I know what the end result is. I really never go back and watch a fight. But for this one, everybody, I was like, well, let me go watch a little bit of it. And I watched. I was like, I couldn't watch it like that. Yeah. No, I wasn't pissed. I was like hurt because I didn't want to see him like that. I didn't want to see him, go out like that. So that was the difference.
I didn't want to see that either. I want him to do well.
Mm-hmm. It's the game, bro. Everything is the game. Like, you know what I mean? It happens. I mean, it's life. You know, you do your best to be able to keep everything straight.
How do you like his attitude towards like a loss like that? It seems like he took the loss gracefully and he says, "Yo, I'll be back. This ain't the end of it." Right. And how much more successful can AJ be? Like, what is his potential?
He can be as good as he want to be. I believe, though, as great as he wants to be, because he has the means to do what he want to do. Right. He has the ability to do what he want to do. And I mean, I think that they still haven't seen the best of him because the process wasn't able to play all the way out. You see what I'm saying? You think about it like from a technical perspective of him boxing, he's here blocking shots, moving, and then he's in the ring like this. So it's like the process, I mean, I think that he's a phenomenal person, fighter. Right. And like, I'm gonna tell you what's even funnier outside of boxing, because it's like, I just thought about this. When he came to visit me before we started training, and he said, we went to dinner. Right. He said, I'd never been to dinner with one of my trainers before. Wow. And we hadn't even agreed, he hadn't agreed to train with him. Well, we went to dinner together. And he said, do you ever go back to your neighborhood? I'm like, what? Like, man, I just did a Christmas giveaway for some toys today. Right. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. So it was like, so that's really where his heart is at. So we really meet like that because we really community-oriented to where we want to give back. I mean, help the people. Right. So it was like, so it wasn't even a boxing thing. You don't go to dinner like, man, what you do for your hood? I do everything. I sponsor a school, got a scholarship, endowment, Children's Medical Center. So I do a lot of stuff with, with mental health, with kids, whatever. So it's like, he's like, man, so it was like, so we connected like that also. So it wasn't like,
Right. That's some beautiful. Other stuff. Yeah. So I definitely want to talk about this. One question before that I want to say is, putting all your guys aside, the guys that you've worked with, do you see fighters out there or any specific fighter out there that you saw and you say, dang, I'd like to work with that kid right there?
I never do that. I never done that before. Because first of all, I don't really watch boxing enough to do it.
About that.
But it's like, you think about this, if I spend all day in the gym, then I'm going to come home and I'm like, I know, man, I'm trying to relax and get away from it. And then it's cause that's how I'm able to, even when I train fighters, right, I could be training somebody, I would go in my office and chill out and kind of like watch something on television just to kind of, we
break the monotony.
Right, and then get back in there. Yeah. So if I'm coming home, I'm not really, I watch the fights that I need to watch.
Mhm.
Right.
If it's a big fight, I'm watching the fight.
Right.
If it's a young talented kid they talking about, I'm watching the fight.
Check 'em out.
So it's not like I don't like boxing because I really do, but I do it 7 days a week. I do it every day.
Right. You
It's
don't want to
like-
consume your whole life with it.
Yeah, I mean, I have other stuff I want to do, man.
I know that.
Man,
and
but
some of the
that's a good
things you
question,
want to
'cause
do.
You would think that there'd be somebody out there you'd be like, man, I wouldn't mind really working with.
But he's told us that before.
Or I'm not just mentioning who it is.
Oh,
you know what it is?
Dog, you gonna do us like
No,
that?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm joking. Because
So-
it's not really. Man, there's some good fighters out there. There's some young good fighters.
Can you name one? Can you just name one good young fighter?
I mean, Shushu's a good fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bruce Carrington.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel about Abdullah Mason?
I never seen him fight before.
Damn, you
know
really
what?
don't watch boxing.
No, this is what I saw, like him getting knocked down and going back and forth with somebody.
okay.
Great fight.
Okay.
Great
But
fight.
I mean, it's
Very
like,
talented fighter.
man, listen, first of all, because I think he fights on ESPN, right?
Yeah.
Man,
Top
how do
ranked
you
guy.
know when they fight? I mean, I don't even know. I mean,
Right.
I don't even know when it comes on.
Right.
Because I'm on the internet, but I'm not on the internet. And if I'm not, so I don't even know when it comes on.
Okay, so I'm
I just hear about it.
glad you brought up the things that you do outside of boxing because I've always seen that you had a passion for that.
Right.
You know, and you're giving away scholarships to kids
Right.
to go to college and stuff like that. I definitely applaud that. But it also seems like that's becoming such a big part of your life that maybe you have an exit strategy that's soon from boxing to go to that
Well, listen,
full time.
this is the thing about it. It's not like an exit strategy. It's just something I've been doing forever.
Yeah.
Because I remember being a kid, in the Boys and Girls Club or whatever, and you remember how you got to where you are, and all those people who fed into you, right? So, I always did like sponsor kids at the Boys and Girls Club throughout years and years and years. And so even me giving back to and training Errol, and that was a part of me giving back. That was like an extension of me giving back, because I'd always give money, sponsor this, sponsor that, but I never gave boxing back, right? So when I gave boxing back, that's what you get. Right?
Oh wow.
So what happens is, and boxing is a continuum of everything I'm doing, because I couldn't do it without the boxing, because I can't give hundreds of thousands of dollars away. This is my own personal money,
Yes.
right? We get a couple donors
Donations,
or whatever, but it's not like huge. It's not.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's like, but it's like, that's who you are. You know what your responsibilities are to your community, right? I know how I got to where I am.
Right.
I know.
Did you see yourself staying in boxing long term? Or you could possibly
know,
go full time
I could,
with your philanthropy and
I could do both of them, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, really, I was running towards my situation and foundation, but which I still am,
okay.
But it's like, because you really got to realize, like, how much this thing means and how much this thing means.
wow.
And which one means, whatever.
Right.
And it's like, the kids, because you got to think about with everything going on in the world, they got to be, I'm not out there picketing and marching, but I'm out here trying to affect the kids, because you can change to the trajectory of a kid's ideal of who he can become,
Mhm.
right? Then you change everything.
Right.
Like
You're definitely hands-on in both worlds. And you've helped people in both worlds. So if you said you was at a time where you was like, okay, I'm just gonna go full steam ahead in my foundation, what made you say, okay, wait, maybe I could still do both?
Well, it was like, you really realize the impact you have on boxing also. So it's like, you kind of, you have two babies, right? And you see, I'm never going to say who I love the most, or who's the most athletic, or who's the most this. Yeah. I'm never going. I love both of them the same.
You've been trained for this, I guess.
No, so it's like really, it's like, and you really realize, like, yeah, I said I wanted to, whatever, but you realize, like,
you still got Ryan out there.
The game needs you.
You still got Ryan out there.
No, that's not only Ryan.
I'm just naming one. I'm just naming one. I'm sure you got Frank Martin.
No,
you got good guys out there.
Oh, yeah, we want to touch on that. I want to go back to all those fighters, but being that we're talking about the kids in the inner city, right? I have a couple questions for you. One, do you feel that a fighter, in order to really reach the elite level, has to come from that hardship type of background where he didn't have it all, his family wasn't doing great, wasn't well off in order to really tap into that greatness as a fighter? Or can somebody come from money and still be great?
I think that in a perfect world, everybody wants to say you have to come from this grimy, rough, whatever. Right? But in reality, you don't. You just have to always have a reference point. Because then what you do is you reach them in a different way, right? So they didn't come from poverty, starving. So you have to remind them of what it took for them to get to where they are. So you have to have a reference point, right? So like our kids don't come up the way we came up. Right? But you still want them to be able to remember when what you had to fight through. Because I always remind people of this. It's not the day that you had a great workout. It's the day that you struggled in the workout and you didn't quit, right? So you always remind them of what they had to go through to get to where they are. So it's not so much about being poor and starving because they don't know that. But they do know that particular pain.
And you got to bring them back
and then
to that.
I even tell them from a business perspective, right? So because a lot of these people are not fighters. Because I did white collar training too. But listen, so you remember how hot it was in the gym? You had to struggle and work through this and do this. Remember that day? That's the day that's going to push you out to be great.
I bring that up because I have a follow-up, because you and I once had a conversation in your gym when I went over to visit you, and you kind of alluded when I brought up Jake Paul, right? And you was like, nah, I couldn't do it right now because my rep and what I stand for, a lot has happened since then, right? And you brought up that great point. There's many reference points when it comes to Jake Paul because he's proven that he puts the work in. He just so happened to start late. It just so happened that he had a successful YouTube career, but he didn't come from money. His parents weren't rich. He went to Cali, you know, and started to make money on YouTube and social media. So he created that future. So it wasn't like this guy is a rich Disney kid and just wanted to box. He's taking boxing serious. So there's many reference points. Now, would Jake be somebody that now, if he came to you, I want to work with you, Derrick, would you work with Jake Paul?
It could be possible.
Okay, so does it change your heart there?
No, it's not necessarily change your heart, but it's like...
Have you seen progression in his career?
Like this. You lay this, you just lay this case on the line for him. You're advocating for him.
No, because
no,
actually, you gave me that idea with the way you answered the first question. Because when you brought up reference point, I thought that was a good analogy. It was very wise, which made me think, wait a minute. I remember having that conversation with Derrick and Jake, I know personally, that has taken his sport serious. Regardless of what anybody thinks, regardless of who he fights, he's changed women's boxing. I'm not saying he's the only one. There are a lot of other promoters like Oscar and Eddie, but he's going in. Him and Nikisha are going in. So it's not only him as a fighter, outside the ring, he's doing things to change the sport. But I know that he works hard in the gym. So I wanted to know if now you were working on him and you answered my question.
Well, you know, if he comes to Dallas, anything is possible. You know what I mean? You know, but yeah. So I mean, you never know. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Because it's like those kids, you know.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. You mentioned Alicia Baumgartner earlier. Is that your first female fighter you work with?
First one, yeah.
And how's that?
She's cool. She's good. I mean, she's really focused, very disciplined, and she's very goal and career oriented. Very detailed.
Now, I know you're not the kind of guy that says, okay, hey, fight this person. Fight. That's not you. That's not the kind of trainer you are. But do you like a fight with her against Amanda Serrano?
You know what? Not necessarily, but I mean, you know.
Why is that?
But I just think, at first, you know, I'm not a matchmaker, so I don't do that. But I think whoever it is she wants to fight, I mean, I think it's up to her. I mean, you know.
I'm just wondering why you say not necessarily, meaning maybe you want to give more time to you training her before something like that, or what?
I mean, maybe that too, and maybe even more of a Katie Taylor, maybe.
You think Amanda's more dangerous fight for Alicia than Katie?
But
just looking from the outside.
I only seen her fight one time.
Who, Katie and Amanda?
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them, really?
Yeah, they were fighting each other. And
that's the only time you've ever seen both of them fight?
You know if I'm not watching boxing,
That's true.
I'm not watching. I mean, like, I don't know when it comes on. I mean, some people, this is what you gotta understand.
Bro, you one of the top
Listen, don't cancel us. Cancel Derrick.
Wait. Think about this. This is a true situation. Yeah. So, one Sunday, I'm in the gym training. I mean, we're training on Sunday. Man, why are we training on Sunday? I said, because I don't care about the Dallas Cowboys playing football. They're already famous. They already got what they got. We're trying to get to where they are, right? So by us trying to get to where they are, we're training every day. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So we're training 7 days a week or whatever. It doesn't matter. So when I got to a point to doing that, you got to give up something to get something, right? So I gave up all of the other stuff, like all of the everything, watching, really living my life by a schedule. Or somebody else's schedule, watch television, 7 o'clock. So by giving all of that up is how I got to here.
Right.
So
I'm not got to be inspired. Some people have to be inspired by watching fighters and fights.
Yeah, but this is the thing about it though. But so do I want to be inspired? Do I want to be continual and be able to keep what I've been building? So it's like for 20 years, 15 years, I haven't watched any sports. And it's not that I don't want to go to a game, a Mavs game, or a Cowboy game, or but I'm not setting my schedule to watch a show. Yeah. But if it's a big fight, I'll watch a fight, or I'll go to a fight, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, for me to get to where I've gotten, it took me to make the sacrifice to say, they already getting it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it. So I want it bad enough to where I can get it up for a little bit. Right. But now, I go to places, I'm in settings where I'm with athletes or whatever, I don't know who they are.
Right.
And I'm like, I gotta start watching some other sports. And I've been saying that for years. I still haven't been able to because,
you're dedicated to your journey.
If I keep putting into my situation, I can keep growing. Right. Like if I got that, I got my kids, I got my foundation, I got this. So when do I have time to watch some sports?
I say the same thing, but I feel like I'm out of touch sometimes because of that.
That's how I feel too.
All right, so I want to go back to Alicia Baumgartner being your first female, and you said she's a hard worker. Do you want her in the gym sparring men or women? Is it even that accessible to try and get women in your gym?
Women.
You want her only sparring women?
I think that we'll see. Like we'll see because we haven't got to that point yet, right? So with the sparring, right? So when I see how she spars with women, I'm like, okay, then you may have another guy.
Up. Right. Because I've seen Amanda Serrano many years ago spar against men. Right, I've seen Clarissa Shields, you know what I'm saying? So I know the best usually.
Right, well, you really want to be pushed to, or you just want to see about getting the best women in the gym working with her. And that's really what it's about. And then you'll see you grow from, because I'm the gauge, right? So when I see, okay, well, and that's how we'll.
Oh, so this is going to be brand new to you. You're going to have to find out where these women at, who do I reach out to, correct?
Right, but I know some women who box, and she knows women, so it's like, we talked about it, so we'll get the sparring going in,
Okay.
Before we get out of here, at what point, as far as you can see, will all the legal issues you and Errol Spence be done with? Like at one point, would you be able to say, "Oh, I could talk about this now because it's all over," or is it just?
I don't know.
You have no idea.
I don't know when it is.
But it's still ongoing.
You know how these things happen, man. They go forever. Until somebody, I don't have a white flag on.
You ain't giving up. So I'll say this, man. Like I hope at one point you and Errol could really mend your relationship, whether it's fighting and training.
I don't even think it's messed up.
It is messed up.
No.
If you involving lawyers and it's a legal battle, it's not good.
Well, listen, but I don't even think it's. Yeah. But listen. Think about this. Well, if that being the case, then it was never good then.
Nah, because we got a relationship. He sued me. There's a problem. There's a problem.
There's a problem there.
The relationship was good. It ain't good.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. No, I wouldn't see him like, man, fuck it. No, I never been like that. I never said anything bad about him. I'm not going because
you just said it to the lawyers.
No. I haven't said anything. Listen, I liked him. I cared about him. You know what I mean? So it's not like
you got love for him.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not like I'm like, man, go give me this. No,
right. But it ain't good. It's safe to say it ain't good.
No, listen.
But it's not where, as a Buddhist, it's not where it should be.
We're about to go back to it's the game.
Okay. It's the
Certain
game.
things happen. You got to take what it is. I mean, am I going to cry and wallow in the situation? No, I'm going to get my people.
Hope it ends well and both parties are happy. I really like Errol a lot. And obviously we're good friends with
stuff
you.
Like that happen. You can't never, both ends are not, teams
somebody
are not
going to be unhappy.
Well,
But listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the corner of the biggest fighters in the world.
Absolutely.
Good luck moving forward.
No doubt.
Thanks for taking the time, brother.
All right, dude.
Appreciate you.
When I had that run,
Emphasis on that. No, there was no emphasis on that.
Yeah.